All right, so we're here in Singapore on the west coast by the Malaysia border with Singapore. This is the Tuas checkpoint, and it's right by this lighthouse, which is at the Ruffles Marina Clubhouse. You can see here it's beautiful with yachts. It's an amazing place to come and hang out and explore the west side of the island. This is actually considered part of the rural Singapore, and I'm saying rural loosely because obviously Singapore is a small island, it's like a dot, but it does have some areas nearby where there are farms. There's also a dirt road, the only remaining dirt road in Singapore. It's about 200 meters long. So it's just right like 10 minutes from here. But it's beautiful to just see, this part of Singapore. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drive all the way to the east side just to show you how small the island is. It's actually a 45-minute drive from coast to coast. On the east is where we have the Changi Airport and the other border to Malaysia. So let's go and see what Singapore looks like. All right, so today I am at a goat farm here in Singapore. This goat farm houses about 1,000 goats, and they have 3 barns, but 2 of them are accessible to the public. So I'm going to go inside and feed the goats and then see what's going on in there. It's quite a fascinating thing to see in Singapore because Singapore usually is known for not having a big agricultural activities going on the island, but they do have a few spots like here where they have been raising goats and they're making some products out of the goat milk. And this is essentially part of what I would say is the rural Singapore. Singapore really doesn't have a rural area, but this is what you can call as the rural part of Singapore. So let's go inside and check it out. So this farm, even though it's small, actually it's quite interesting how it's set up. So it's made up of 2 of these barns, these long barns here that you can see. Inside the barn, it's divided into 2 sections, and then on one on the left, the other one on the right side, so you can walk through in the middle of the barn. And then on each section, they've divided it into about 20 cells, if you want to call them, and each cell houses about 12 goats. And so having those 2, they have about 800 to 900 goats on this farm, which is amazing. And so they're able to produce milk. They do produce different other products from the milk, like ice cream, and they actually sell it outside. And so, yeah, it's quite amazing. Okay, so this is the first barn. Here they tell us no eating or drinking and no strollers. All right, but we do have food for the goats. So we're gonna see the goats here. You can see here they're amazingly clean. See, they're all clean. And this whole barn has been structured in such a way that they have some fans going, and the floor has holes in it. It uses like these grills that allows all the dirt to go through, so it keeps the goats nice and dry and clean. You can see they're really clean. I mean, like, you'd think they've had a bath. Yeah. So This is pretty cool. So we get to feed them. So this barn is all covered and it has fans in all different sections. So it's actually cool. Outside it's quite hot right now, but being just in here, it's very cool and comfortable. So they've done a great job in terms of regulating the temperatures so that the goats don't overheat. Yeah, so as you can see here, things are really clean. Even these trucks where they usually put the grass is quite clean and dry, and then the floors everywhere is very dry. So this is one of the fans that they use, and you can see that it's very effective in cooling off the barn, even though it's actually an open barn, so the sides are open so the hot air can easily come in, but the way they've set it up is such that the cool is the under the roof, the covered area is actually feels cool, while they're also able to alleviate the bad air. So these are the baby goats, and so they separate them from the parents. And it's interesting that you can see here the goats drinking water from the tubes, the pipes that are connected to the sides of the barn. So that's how they get their water. And then, as mentioned, they're very clean, very dry. But here there's a bit more goats, as you can see, because they're young ones. So there's a bit more in here. So some of the products are the popsicles, the goat milk popsicles here. They have chocolate milk. They also make soap from the milk. Yeah, so this one here is the soap from the milk soap.
Purchase your tracks today.
as you can see, like Singapore is pretty straightforward to drive through. It's just from coast to coast, east to west. It takes about 45 minutes, and so hopefully you were able to see all the different areas and neighborhoods, even though it was through, or going over the highway. But yeah, that is Singapore for you. A beautiful, nice small island that has lots and lots of things to see and experience. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you're curious about other parts of Singapore, like if you want to travel outside of Singapore, watch this video next where I will show you a trip to Malaysia, which is right next door. So watch this video next and I'll see you there.